Okay, friends, as promised, in studio with us, we have the wonderful, the beautiful, the vivacious, the smart, the charming, and what else did your husband want me to say?
Lovely.
Lovely.
Good cook.
Good cook. Ashley Martodam of Great North Insurance Services. Ashley, I feel all those things as well as your husband Adam does, but I haven't had your cooking, so I feel a little bit left out. Ash, give us a background. Who are you? Where are you from? Tell us about your family, all that good stuff.
All right. So I am with Great North Insurance, and we offer all lines of home insurance, auto insurance, life, and flood insurance.
Okay. Tell me about your family.
My family.
Your business,
the good
blah,
stuff.
blah, blah. I want your family. Yeah.
All right. So me and my family, we live in Holly, and it's my husband, Adam, and we have two littles, a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old little boy. So we are very busy, and everyone's in bed by 8 o'clock.
Oh my God, you included?
Yeah, sometimes.
Oh my gosh. Well, we have an 18-month-old at home, and my wife is expecting again, and which is just the coolest thing. This is the first time I've said it on air. But I'm in bed way later than you, usually like 8:30 or 8:45. So
Night owl.
Kind of a party animal. Watch out. When you're not partying with your family, you're working at Great North Insurance. But specifically, what I love about insurance is usually nothing.
Thank you.
Insurance is one of those things that I think sometimes people call it a necessary evil. Mm-hmm. How would you combat that, Ashley? Because it's not a necessary evil, even though I may a little tongue-in-cheek jab at you.
Right.
How would you defend insurance to the average Joe?
Right, the insurance agent defending the insurance companies.
That's right.
No, the insurance is not fun to pay for, but it's one of those things that when you need it, you're thankful you have it, and the better relationship you have with your agent and your company and the better coverages you have, the happier you'll be with your experience. And truly, we find that the people that complain about their insurance or paying for their premiums are the ones that fortunately haven't had to use it. Mm-hmm. So that's the big thing. Once you have a claim or you have a big loss, then you are thankful for your insurance. Mm-hmm. So the tune kind of changes once you have that loss,
right?
Whatever it is.
Ashley, you and I have had a relationship now for 7 years or so. I'm trying to figure out exactly when it was, but I think it was 7 years ago. You and I were selling real estate together.
Yes.
On the Jim Lund team
right.
in town, one of the first teams to exist. And then life changed for you, and you realized the pain of not having insurance. Can you clue the listening audience in just a little bit? I know it's a personal story, but it's impactful.
Yes, absolutely. So I was young and married and living the dream, or what I thought for a 24-year-old. And my husband at the time, he did construction industry, paycheck every Friday, and so I was able to work in real estate, and it was fun, and I loved it, and I met wonderful people like you.
Oh, way to suck up! That'll get you very far on the show.
And unfortunately, he was sick, and he did pass away in 2009.
Oh, I can't imagine that kind of pain.
It was pain and scary, and just the unknown, I think, was the hardest part of not knowing how to be a widow, not knowing a lot. Again, I was 24, and we lived paycheck to paycheck, and his was the steady income. And without him, real estate just got scary for me. So I had to make a change at that time,
and
because we didn't
have great insurance, right?
No, because we did not have life insurance. So I wasn't able to afford our house anymore. I couldn't afford our cars. I couldn't afford to continue the lifestyle we were living because I did not have life insurance.
But you weren't living a glamorous lifestyle. I mean, it wasn't. I remember your house, and you weren't in the fanciest of houses, and you weren't driving the fanciest of cars. You were just getting by.
Yeah.
And life happened.
Absolutely.
And you lost your husband, and insurance would have protected you from some of those struggles afterwards, right?
Right. Insurance would have let me continue on the road I was building. We were at the beginning. We were in our first home together. We were just starting out, and any extra money we had, we went out with our friends on the weekend.
Right.
So there was nothing in savings. But had we had any type of insurance in place, I could have stayed in our house longer. I could have continued my career that I wanted to be in of real estate with having a little cushion. And instead of doing anything I wanted to, I had to completely surrender to money and who needed to be paid first, and how was I going to get that bill paid? That's what it all turned into. I wasn't even able to mourn maybe like I would have wished.
Man, Ash, that's tough stuff. And I know we said we're going to talk about flood insurance, and we're gonna transition to that after the break here. But what I want to cover right now is imperative, because people who are listening, you heard me say before that insurance is a necessary evil, and yet evil is so far from the truth. Nobody likes to pay bills, whether it be taxes or insurance or medical bills. But what those are doing is they are protecting you. They're enhancing your life. But here's the big deal, and I'm going to go rogue here for a second. I'm just kidding. I don't know how to go rogue. What I want people to know and hear and understand is this, is relationships matter in this industry. Whether it be with your realtor, your insurance provider, your lender, whomever it is, the relationships that you have matter, because I can say that I get my insurance through Great North Insurance. And there's some great companies in town too that I would emphatically support, but I've chosen to get my insurance through Great North Insurance to protect my family in case of those uh-ohs. Ash, I can't imagine what it was like going through that at such a young age, and to lose your spouse and to have to start over. I love that you're protecting people from that now. And I know the relationship and the care that you take of your clients. And so relationships matter in this industry. And I think that you're poised and set up to make a huge difference and a huge impact in people's lives.
Well, thank you. That really does mean a lot, because that is my why of why I go to work every day, because if I can help one person get over a loss quicker, get on it back on their road more smoothly, then I will feel like maybe what I learned was for a reason.
Yeah,
and making a difference.
That's a deep statement, Ash. We're going to keep you around because I do want to talk about flood insurance. People, your bills are changing. We got to know how they're changing. So in the meantime, go to livefargomoorhead.com, look up Hatchstock, sign up for Hatchstock, find out what your home is worth, and heck, even send us a little message. Say hi. We'd love to hear from you. This is Real Estate Radio with Erik Hatch. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio. As always, I'm your host, Erik Hatch, and in studio with us, we have the wonderful and talented and just so sweet Ashley Martodam with Great North Insurance Services, still here, and we're going to talk about that not sexy world of flood insurance.
Yes.
If you could see the fake smile on her face right now, like, yeah, it's flood insurance. It's not anything that anybody loves in this area, and yet again, it's going to protect us in those big uh-ohs. So changes are happening with flood insurance, Ashley. I'm naive to them. I want you to educate me and the listening audience to what's happening with flood insurance right now.
Yeah, and so I just heard someone the other day saying in real estate, you hear people say, location, 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 and in the flood insurance world, all we're hearing is premium increase, premium increase, premium increase.
Oh, that's nasty.
So it is really nasty.
Wow.
But there are reasons. They're not just increasing to increase. And for a little bit of background for those who maybe aren't familiar, the FEMA established the flood insurance program back in the late 60s, actually. And the reason they did that was to help. It was truly to help by subsidizing some of the premiums and things for people who need flood insurance for if and when they have disasters. And back then, they weren't able to correctly rate your area. So they literally went door to door and asked people, have you ever flooded? Have you ever flooded?
Oh my gosh.
And that is how the first maps were created. So they weren't very accurate, to say the least.
You mean to tell me the government didn't do their job properly? Come on now, Ashley. Come on.
Just take my word for it. Right. I have or have not flooded. So then, and keep in mind, this is across the country, not just in our area.
Right, of course.
So now when you have hurricanes and you have floods and we have people that are receiving the benefits of flood insurance, but it wasn't necessarily set up correctly from the get-go. So over the past 5 years, they've been making a lot of changes. And I think that is almost the unfortunate part is they have there's been so much talk about changes in the last 4 to 5 years that I feel like people hear flood insurance and it kind of falls on deaf ears because they don't understand.
We've heard the F word around the area here, literally and figuratively. We've heard it about flood insurance for the last, since 2009 probably was when it really became a hot topic. So 7 years now. Right,
because in 2009 is when every rumors started that the maps were changing in this area. Okay, so when that happened, insurance agents were advising their clients to purchase flood insurance now, purchase it now, because you're going to need it. Okay, well then that kept getting bumped back and bumped back and bumped back. All right, so in 2014 was the next time that the maps were going to take place. Legislation, things changed, and they pushed it back again.
Right.
All right, so now January 16th, 2015. The maps actually came out. They officially were put in place.
So 16, 18 months ago or so, 17 months is actually what it is. 17 months ago, the maps came out, right?
Yes.
Official.
Official.
Okay, what does that mean for homeowners now then?
Official. So a lot of people went from a low-risk flood zone to a high-risk flood zone.
Okay.
And one thing I like
Sounds
to
expensive.
correct people on is everyone says, am I in a flood zone? Everybody is in a flood zone. It just matters if you're in a high risk or a low risk. Okay, so a lot of, Fargo in particular went from low risk to high risk. So what they did is they said, okay, you are now in a high risk flood zone, but we are going to give you a little bit of time to get your flood policies in place. Even though we've been telling you this for the last 4 years, we're going to give you a little bit more time. And when you get your flood insurance policy, we're going to give you almost like a discounted rate.
Okay.
All right. And it's called a preferred rate policy, or a PRP.
Okay.
So there's a preferred policy or a standard policy. So for the last year and a half, we've been telling people, okay, now you're in a high risk zone. Now your mortgagee is requiring you to have flood insurance. Good news, you have a discounted rate of, say, $450.
That is good news, yeah.
Only $450 of your hard-earned money.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of people listened, but not everybody did. So now, April 1st...
This year. So last month.
Yep, 1 month ago, we were told that we no longer are able to do that look back. So if you are now... told that you are in a high-risk flood zone, you now pay standard rates.
And those are fairly expensive.
So now you went from your $450 policy to your anywhere from $2,000 to $7,000 policy annually.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. So the big change is that they no longer let us do that look back. Okay, so if you talk to anyone anywhere else in the country, the rule is, or if you go onto FEMA's website, once a map is changed, you have 1 year. That's the new rule. 1 year to get that preferred policy.
Yep.
Well, unfortunately for us, our 1 year was up January of 16. So yay for anyone else, but not.
So people are going to see really increased rates in their flood insurance right now, correct?
Right.
A couple things that you need to know. Number one, talk to your insurance provider. If you're not in love with your insurance provider, I'm sure Ash would love to talk with you.
Absolutely.
And even help you out. You don't have to be married to them. You don't have to commit to them to get some questions answered.
Yes.
So how can somebody contact you, Ashley?
Yep, you can call us. Our office is located in West Fargo, and our phone number is 235-4647. Or you can go on our website, greatnorthinsurance.com. You can find us on Facebook, Great North Insurance, or you can contact Erik, and he can direct you to us as well.
Perfect. The second thing that I want people to know is just because your home is in a floodplain, and everybody's is, if you're in high risk, we can still sell for pretty much top dollar. That's the great unique thing. We're seeing it happen all the time. So you still have hope if you need to get out if that payment's going to be too much. So you and I should talk. This is muddy waters here, so we should talk. 701-369-4839 or livefargomoorhead.com.